So I quickly thought I would tell you how I got to speaking in tongues, or also known as light languages. Um, Basically, in '92, I became part of a Pentecostal church and became born again, and I got baptized in the water. And a little time after that, I also got baptized in the Holy Spirit. And what happens is you get baptized in the Holy Spirit, people will pray over you. Sometimes they sort of feel like a power going through you, and then sometimes straight after that you can just suddenly start speaking in tongues, or sometimes it takes like a couple of days to know how to speak in tongues. It's not something that you can force. I think it just happens, and that's what happened. Is I was desperate. I was really desperate. It was one of those things that I had to do. Everybody else was doing it, and I was getting quite upset during my baptism of the Holy Spirit that nothing was happening. But then after a couple of days, I suddenly was able to start talking, and it's not like you're consciously talking gibberish. When you're consciously talking gibberish, and actually, if you try to talk gibberish, it's quite difficult. You find that you'll stumble over your words. You won't be able to make a sentence just flow. So, when you look within your own heart and you're being true to yourself, you know whether you're fooling yourself or not. And I definitely just started speaking in tongues, and it was just amazing. And I think during that time, for a couple of years or so in the church, it was something that was being practiced. And then thankfully God showed me out of the church, and I left, and then I kind of went back to my occultish ways. And but I didn't really speak in tongues or light languages up until I'd say about a year ago. So it never leaves you. It's always there with you. It never leaves you. But to be honest, I never really felt drawn to speak in tongues, even though I could. And maybe it's something that I should be doing more of, because even now I'm not that excited by it. I can't really be bothered to use it that much, where other people will pray over their food and pray over their drink and pray over everything that they're doing. And maybe soon it'll be made more aware to me that one way of raising my vibration or keeping my vibration high is to be speaking in tongues or light languages more often. Maybe I'm just lazy, but I just don't, it doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't set me on fire. So the people out there who are listening to all these other people speaking in tongues and feel, why aren't I doing that? Why can't I do that? How do I do that? Oh, it's got to be something I've got to do. Maybe I'm better if I do it, or something like that. I wouldn't get too hung up on that. It's I don't think it makes a huge difference. I don't think it's something that you really need to strive for in your life. So I'd give yourself a break from having to tick that box off as a gift to have. But so now I've just recently learned that people are calling it languages of light, and it's quite interesting that people seem to be able to talk Syrian and Pleiadian and all kinds of idioms. And sometimes when they speak all these different languages, they all seem to sound the same. All the languages sound the same, so I find that quite interesting. So I think the speaking in tongues, if people are wanting to know what's the difference, I think they are actually the same thing. It's just that it's speaking in tongues is something that happens to you if you're in a Pentecostal church and are baptized in the Holy Spirit, where you can still get a light language now, or someone can activate it or download it to you. So that's still possible now, and I think they are one and the same thing. I think the beautiful thing about speaking in tongues is sometimes if you are very upset or you are in absolute awe and you don't seem to have the words, the English words, the human language to be able to translate how you're feeling or thinking, then when you speak in tongues, it's like it's, or speaks in light languages, it really seems to come from your heart. You mustn't think about it too much. If you think about what words you're going to make or sentence is going to happen, then you find that you're stumbled. You become stumbled. So their words just stumble upon each other. So the best thing to do is just let go, let it just flow. And I find that that's what it is. It's like this feeling, there's this flowing coming out of your heart, and you're just spilling out these words. You might not know what they mean, because a lot of people don't know how to interpret light languages. I'm not even sure what people know what they're doing, when they're sharing activations and things like that. Because I don't have a clue what I'm talking about. But you sort of do get a feeling from it. It's a really weird one. It's a really weird one to put your finger on. But the thing is just to let it flow, just to let it go. So I think for a while now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing some prayers on here and see how that goes, see if anybody responds, if whatever it is that I can share. And if anybody's got any comments or any suggestions, please be feel free to comment that which you want to below, and I'm more than welcome to communicate with you. So thank you for that, and you have a good day now.